long time.
Yeah, let's give them something right
Come on,
here.
let's do this right now.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. The haters are happy cause the team playing crappy. Give the Clippers a cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all. Wearing bags on their head cause the team's playing bad. Let the haters cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. TH had to split, KB is too old. SNN can't do a pick and roll. They gave piece of
Johnny Ireland, I don't care.
Woo! Here we go. Everybody in Laker hater land is jumping up for joy. Are you jumping up for joy, sir?
As high as I can get.
And you, sir?
As high as I can get, which isn't
What
high.
about you, Mo?
No, I was running through the house.
Running through the house. And sir, our engineer is on board today. Y'all can see him in the corner. How you feeling over there, sir?
Happy but sad, but
Okay, well, you can't get it all, so.
right, I'm like
We
can't
gotta get what we can, y'all.
can't.
You guys are 2-2.
Y'all
Yeah, in fact, we're 2-2 off of a tip slam.
You 2-2. You could have won both of those games.
Yep.
They won.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's what's frustrating.
Yeah, I know that's the frustrating part for me. But we got Game 5 in Denver,
Okay.
where we've won before and we can do it again.
There
When
you
is
go.
that game?
Case is closed.
I believe
Tuesday.
that game is Tuesday.
Tuesday.
You also need to add the caveat you won 2 games with James Harden.
Okay. Give it up.
That's a miracle. So I'm like, yeah.
I mean, literally, Norman Powell came to play yesterday. Kawhi stepped up and got us out of that 17-point hole. It was literally Powell, Harden, Zubac, and Kawhi literally all together got us out of that 17-point hole to give us the first lead of the game, which I thought was just
They did exactly what they were supposed to do.
which was unbelievable to me.
Right.
But the fact, but that's what a championship caliber team is supposed to do. We're supposed to be able to make those comebacks.
All right. Beautiful.
But let's not ever make it that close again, please.
Okay, that's good. Let's switch.
Let
Let's switch gears. Let's go ahead.
Let me say this.
Wait, who are you first?
I'm Van Douglas, #1 Laker hater.
Okay.
Okay. Rashid and Mo, even though y'all lost yesterday, y'all was chasing 20.
Yes.
It came down to that play. Okay? So you guys should be feeling totally confident going into Denver for Game 5.
We're going to come
They
back.
should.
I think Mo French from Carson, I think Uncle John is going to focus us on the Laker hate, but we're going to come back to this game because it relates to the Laker hate. I think there's a reason why this game that game had the result it had,
Okay.
but it's going to relate to getting what I really wanted.
I can't wait to hear this one.
All right, so basically, let's refocus right now on the reason that we are all gathered here to actual day. So
Go ahead, brother.
Timberwolves pulled off a late game miracle off of what we already had in the Detroit game, a blown call. In this game, it would have been a blown call if Minnesota didn't challenge the actual call, in which it would have been Laker ball, with Minnesota only up 113-114 with about 9.6 or like 6.9 to actually go. So they called a challenge. They were looking at that for a long time. And so we finally get the angle that I think the audience was looking for. Because otherwise, it looked like it was off of Ant going the other way.
Yeah.
So we get the angle in which we see LeBron hit Anthony Edwards,
Like KC.
give him that karate chop. Right,
Across the arm.
right across the wrist, and that's why Ant lost the ball, even though Ant was already losing control at the time, about to fall out of bounds, because he was out of control, going too fast. Reminds me of Russell Westbrook. You know, it's like you trying to go too
Slip though.
trying to go too fast. But LeBron fouling him actually bailed them out of that situation. He's a very bad free throw shooter, but he came up clutch with the 2 free throws. And what's questionable to me is who took the last shot.
Reeves.
That's
Right.
that's the questionable part for me because I believe what the best 3-point shooter on the court at that time was Luka Doncic, correct?
Well, see, but you knew they was gonna trap Luka. Luka
Because he's the
they
best
picked him
three-point
up
shooter
full
on the field.
court.
Right. So they doubled him and they sent Julius Randle and McDaniels onto
LeBron.
But you gotta remember.
onto Luka, and then he passed it to LeBron. LeBron had, I think, ant in his face, and then he passed it to Reeves, which I think had Nas Reed
Flying at him, yeah.
flying at him for a corner 3, which they say is the toughest shot, but it's actually one of the easier shots to actually make. Last time I checked, a corner 3 has a very high percentage, as Russell Westbrook. Literally shoots 40% from the corner. So let's talk about that another time. But he's in the corner, takes a 3. Not the greatest 3-point shooter. He has this decent 3-point percentage. He bricks it.
Yeah.
He bricks it. It's game over. And let's look at the actual stats itself, because funny enough, Luka and Austin shot the same, literally the same from the 3-point line.
That's why they gave him the ball.
They shot 5 for 12. LeBron was 2 for 4. Rui was 5 for 10. And let's actually look at the actual other points, because Dorian Finney-Smith definitely hit some clutch out. He was 2 for 6.
He hit a couple of them.
Yeah. Gabe Vincent 0 for 2.
This is Hugh from Boston. I just wanted to make one point. Reeves scored all of his points in the second half.
Yeah.
That sounds
And LeBron didn't score at all in the last quarter. Did he?
that sounds about right, especially since
That's not good.
Minnesota was up by 3 at halftime.
And at the end of the game, most important.
Yeah, and at the end of the game, where for a while in the fourth quarter they were down, they were trailing. So for them to actually come back and make the win, let's actually look at the actual points itself.
Okay, there we go.
So you have Luka Doncic with his typical 38 points. Jackson Hayes, once again, useless. Only played, dang.
They went 5 out and took Hayes.
They didn't. It was a lot of. He didn't sub not one time in the second half.
Yeah.
No, he literally only played 4 minutes. He only touched the floor in the first quarter, and that was it.
This is Hugh from Boston. I agree with Van, and I just don't think Redick did a good job coaching.
Dorian Finney-Smith played 41 minutes.
He played all of the players, all 5 of them, I think, the second half.
Rui played 41.
That was it.
LeBron played
30 minutes
46.
right
And
there.
the other thing I wanted to bring up
Luka
is
played
that
46.
he also blew his
Challenge.
challenge in the first half.
Yeah.
And the results of this game shows you why you want to keep your challenge to the end.
Yep.
Yep.
Don't waste
Good
it.
point, Hugh.
Literally, if I the only
That's good. That's what we want. We want the Lakers to fuck up.
the only reason that you will blow a challenge in the first half is if you know you are guaranteed to win, it's just so that you have another challenge in the second half.
Or LeBron James tells you the challenge to call.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say this here. Minnesota is showing you how deep their team is, and the Lakers are showing you their lack of depth. When you only play 5 guys in the whole half, and you don't sub, okay, and you decide to play small, and I was saying this before the playoffs started. Jackson Hayes is not the deal, okay? Not the deal. And I said, they might be okay if they get Minnesota or Memphis. I mean, not Minnesota, but Golden State or Memphis. But if they was to get Minnesota, he ain't gonna matter. And you seeing it.
Yep.
He ain't even playing 10 minutes a game.
And they stay more punches from Carson. So piggybacking on what Van said, if you're going to play your starters that much in the second half, here's the problem. Hope everybody else has seen this. Luka starts hot. I'm overweight. At the end of the game, those shots that are going in do not go in. LeBron starts hot. I'm 40. At the end of the game, I'm tired. So if you're going to play them and not rest them, there will be an impact. And you saw that impact.
I will give Hashimura credit today. He showed up, gave him some much needed scoring from outside of Luka and LeBron. Okay, gave him 23 points.
But I have a point about that. Okay, here's my point about that. Why are you doubling Luka?
That you know what?
Why you
I
doubling
said the
Luka?
same thing. I said that before the series started. I said play Luka straight up.
Let McDaniels have him.
Yeah.
And he wants him now.
Yeah,
And Luka doesn't want to see McDaniels.
yeah.
So why are you doubling Luka? You open up Hashimura. You open up Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves got 12 threes.
Yeah.
The game was a 110-point game because you're doubling Luka. I
Yeah.
did not understand that decision. That's going to get me back to a decision made in the Clipper game. But anyway, yeah, I think that's a bad tactical decision. I think if you make that same decision in Game 5, the Lakers will beat you in Game 5. Let Luka go for 40. He has yet to prove I can score 40 in this series. He has not broken 40. Why are you worried about him? They had, 94 odd points the last game when he started, like, with 20 points in the first quarter? It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if I'm Minnesota, I would do the same thing that literally every team has allowed Luka to do. Allow him to score. Let him be the one to actually try and beat you.
But
D up on Rui, D up on LeBron. Limit them. Limit Austin Reeves. Let Luka score. Let Luka run up the scoreboard. Because literally, if you make him the primary person to score and not be able to actually facilitate and get the ball out, you're going to make him a lot more tired because he has to do everything on offense and then have to try to play defense.
And they're catching him in switches, and he's ending up on that man, which means
And
he's got to
43.
extend more minutes.
and
He's got to extend, but he got to play both ends. They're forcing him to play both
even
ends.
I was just going to say one thing. How many times has Luka scored more than 50 points a game?
maybe twice.
I can't remember. I mean, bad attorney.
He had a big- he had a
Especially
big
you don't know
triple
the answer to. But if you just let him score, he only gets his 35 to 40 points. That's it.
But his
I don't
team-
see him running away with 50 points, 60 points. He gets tired.
He gets tired. He tires out. Exactly. And when you're playing him, you say let him score. Well, make him bring the ball up. Put the ball in
Okay.
Austin Reeves' hands, so you wear him out even more. So by the third quarter, those step back 3-pointers are errant.
okay, so he's had in his entire career, he's had 7
I like my odds.
50-point games.
I like my odds.
He had 51 against the Clippers back in 2022. Back in February, he had 50 against Houston. They were all for Dallas. He had where he played over close to 50 minutes. He scored 50 against New York, 51 against the Spurs, 53 against Detroit, 50 against Phoenix, and 73
But one-
against Atlanta.
But look at the stats. He's had one in the last 2.5 years. So the odds he's going to have a 50-point game, he went for 73 in that one. But the odds he's going to have a 50-point game, not that high.
Yeah,
He may have a
literally.
40-point game.
Yeah.
who
Literally,
cares?
the last time he had a actual 50-point game was literally last year, back in January when he played for Dallas, and that was when he went for 73.
Are you guys saying what I think you're saying?
What are they saying, D?
You're saying that Luka may have to go for 50 for the Lakers to win?
No, what we're saying is we're going to make
gonna
Luka
allow
score
him.
50
They're
to
gonna
give the
allow
Lakers
them
a
to get
shot
it.
at winning. We're not
Okay.
gonna let Brewery and we're not gonna let the others. As
We're not
Shaq would
going to
say.
double team.
Yes.
Luka.
Basically,
We're going to let him run out,
him do
let him
it.
do all of his stuff and whatever.
yeah,
And
basically
the worst
make
thing that will happen is that he might accidentally score 50 points,
Okay.
which he did, I guess, 7 times in the past 7 years.
Okay.
7 times in 700 games. I like my odds.
right
I agree
in
with
which
Mo.
he's
He and I are the same page.
and was literally he's been doing that since what, since 2022 up to 2024. So like literally in like the past 5 years, he's had 7 50+ games.
Yeah, let him carry that pressure. Let LeBron carry that pressure. See if LeBron breaks and has, I don't know, a mysterious knee injury before the Lakers lose in Game 5. You know, that sort of stuff.
Mysterious.
Mysterious. They tend to happen.
I mean, like he already is
This is
known
Hugh
for
from
having his groin, you know.
Yeah.
So, Hugh from Boston, I just want to make one comment, and it does hurt me to say this, but LeBron played a good game today. I have to give him credit for
The
that.
stats says so, don't?
Except dig into the stats, and where was he in the last quarter?
Tired.
Thank you.
That's the.
I'm gonna say
And
this.
but also it's like literally like I blame that on JJ Redick because literally like when you have your starters playing damn near the whole entire game, like of course they're gonna be tired.
Well, you can't give that to the coach.
What did JJ tell
LeBron
you
want to
today?
stay in.
What did JJ show you today?
That he's not a great
Not a good coach.
No. Well, let's put it this way. He doesn't trust his bench.
Yeah.
Yes, he's not a great
This is the
coach.
first game I've seen the Lakers play 5 guys for a whole half.
Okay,
And
let's-
don't make a sub.
Okay, more punches from Carson. Let's take a counter to that then. Let's look at the coach in Miami. Got a team full of no names, and they find a way. They're not going to make it out of the first round, but they made it to the playoffs. So that's the distinction. You got a guy from Miami on the team. Find a way to use the guys you got. That's what Golden State did. They found a way to use the guys they got. They've got to win.
I'll tell you the thing that's
That's coaching.
Especially
I tell
against
you
a
the
very
thing that's-
game
that's-
Houston
Houston
Rockets
team,
team.
yeah.
They found a way to get that win yesterday.
find a way,
Curry had
yeah.
to Curry had to carry, but that's typical Curry.
But Curry has as many points as Luka did. They won the game.
And that's the main difference because
the
like
difference
with like
with
Draymond, he actually does the intangibles for your team that actually make it to where like you're able to get those opportunities even without Jimmy Butler. But again, that's far and nigh because literally with Jimmy Butler, they're a lot more dangerous team compared to without Jimmy Butler.
Absolutely.
Houston needs a legitimate shot maker. I am hoping that Kevin Durant ends up with Houston next year. If Durant was with him now, that'd have changed all that.
No argument there.
No argument
no
there.
argument
There's
there.
no argument there. I would say my main issue with Houston when it comes to scoring, where literally, if you want to make Dylan Brooks your actual main scorer, go ahead and force him to jack up threes. Because literally between him and Draymond Green, I would rather them try to go for 20.
Mo Pence from Carton. The other thing about the Durant thing, quick counter. When has Durant ever led a team to a championship?
I get that. But I think that what Houston has on their team now, with all that speed and this, that, and the other, where they get in trouble is in the half court. Because they don't
Absolutely
have a
agree.
legitimate shot maker.
Absolutely
Durant
agree.
changes all of that.
I do agree with that. Is he an unrestricted free agent?
Are they speaking on that already?
I don't know what they would have to probably do a trade to get him.
That's the other thing.
But-
So what do they give up?
No, that's a good question. But
Hold on.
my thing is
But keep your point
But
going.
yeah,
baby.
I get your
my
point.
my
I get
thing
your
is my thing is you put Durant on that team, and Houston is dangerous. Now, if
I
you
agree.
Look at OKC. Now it's funny because I've just been cracking up on all the Laker fans that call in the 7-10. Oh, we're not worried about OKC. Of course you're not. You're not
You're not
gonna
gonna
get there
make it
to play them. You're not gonna get there to play them.
Thank you. You're not going to make it to OKC.
You know?
You'll be watching just like the rest of us.
I would love to see the Clippers beat Denver So it'd be a war between Clippers and OKC. It don't matter. You ain't gonna be around.
I mean, to be fair, we've done a lot more to Denver than the Lakers have in the past, like 2 or 3 years.
This is true. The Lakers could not beat Denver.
The Lakers won in the last 2 times the Lakers played Denver. It was a sweep, and then it was a
gentleman's
Nuggets
sweep.
in 5.
It was a gentleman's sweep. Just like Shannon called it.
Lakers in 5.
The series will be over in 5. Yeah.
All right. So to actually bring up your point about Kevin Durant, the only thing with the Rockets right now, is the fact that Jalen Green, like, he's supposed to be your scorer, but again, he's inconsistent.
And that's where Van is saying they need a real shot maker because he's an athlete who can get to the rim, but can he consistently make 18 and out?
And he reminds me too much of Ja Morant, where he's trying to jump over people and just try to.
Jalen Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but literally, when it comes to Durant, he's 36
Yeah,
right now.
Yep, they had to make a trade.
Fact,
That's okay. It's the new NBA. He all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's fair. He has one more year left on his contract right now.
So they'd have to make some sort of trade to get him out of.
Yeah, because right now he would be expected to have, what is that, 54 mil?
54, 55. Yep.
Big money there.
Yeah, 55
So-
But they under the cap. They got the cap. They got the cap
what do they-
space to do that.
I agree, but then what do they have to? What must they surrender in order for?
They may have to give up because it's like this.
I'd give up Green. I'd give up.
I can see that.
I can see him giving
I
up
give
Green.
up Green. I give up Thompson.
Oh no!
How about Tari Eason? Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tari
Throw
Eason.
Eason in there.
Yeah,
Okay,
Tar
Tari Eason is Green, I can see.
Eason, take off Thompson.
You can't give up.
You
Thompson.
can't give up Thompson.
No, that's a star in the making right there. That's what Kaminga wanted to be.
If you were to give it anybody, give up Van Fleet.
Well, you
Van Fleet is too old.
You need a point guard out there to lead the team. So.
Yeah.
And I don't think Phoenix would want Van Fleet. If they could get Torrey Eason and Green and a couple first round draft picks,
It might have to be a 3-team deal.
I think you could pull that.
Utah.
Utah's always willing to go. But I think Houston will have to give a couple first rounders. So you look at what like Paul George demanded. There was another Rudy Gobert. So you're gonna have to give up a big package. But I think Phoenix would love to have Green, pair him with Dylan Booker, get rid of Bill if they could. I don't know if they can unload Bill's contract.
And hold on. Speaking of that, let's actually look up.
But yeah, he's in the last year of hey, Phoenix is going to be looking to try to deal him because he's going to be a unrestricted free agent the year after.
Yeah.
So yeah, Phoenix would love Houston come call. I would love to get Torrey Eason, but I think Thompson, you cannot give up Thompson.
And let's look up Bradley Beal in his contract. Jesus.
Yeah, they're hoes.
Okay,
hoes.
so literally.
They got 2 more years.
Yeah, they
player
got-
option the following year.
So yeah, they technically have 1 more year with him, and then if he
player
goes
option.
into it, he has a player option. Yeah.
But he's going to take that $57 million.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
going to take. No one else is going to give him $57 million.
Yeah, because literally next year he's owed what? 50?
My wife beats me.
Yeah, he's owed 53 mil next year.
Yep.
Oh
All the
god.
contracts. Yeah.
Oh god.
That's all I can say.
Wizards, why did y'all give him a 5-year, $251 million contract, and then you trade him?
Well, trading was a good thing.
Trading was a good thing.
Making a deal was a bad thing. Yeah, but I think Phoenix would love to get Green, and even in with Bill, one team. They love to get Green. They love to get Torrey Eason. But those are, I mean, any more players in that, and I think Houston's messing with their team because they have. I forgot the 6'10" guy.
Well, they had the draft picks, so they can use them.
Yeah.
Right, but then like if we're gonna talk about Phoenix, who are they gonna have to hold on?
Phoenix ain't gonna be even worth talking about.
Thank you. That's limbo right now.
Who?
That's limbo right now. Phoenix. That's NBA limbo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, But anyway, we're talking about making the Phoenix Suns better. How about we
got a
send
caller.
LeBron some medicine to make tonight's loss a little better?
We got a. You want to come on the air, bro? No, put him on. Let's see what
Put
he
him
got
on
to
the
say.
air.
What do I have to say? Don't stuff on there.
We were wrong.
They
I
heard
was
you.
delusional. Oh, he'll never admit that. He a Laker fan.
Hold on, y'all. Let's see what this caller is. Caller, could you identify yourself? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, that's my homeland. Identify yourself, please, sir.
Okay, I'm calling from St. Louis, Missouri. My name is Brian Turks, and I
Oh,
want
Mr.
to let
Brian,
you know
hey,
that the
brother.
Lakers. All
Yeah,
right,
we-
all right. The Lakers, don't give up on the Lakers yet. I think we're going to come back and win the next 3.
Just like Shannon called Lakers in 5, right? I'm just saying. Just stay delusional.
The Lakers,
got his own dirt to deal with right now.
Oh,
the Lakers will win in 3.
Let's see
They will come back
let's see
and
what the
win
brother
in
got to
3.
say. Come on,
Hey, sir.
let him know who you are, sir.
I'm Van Douglas, #1 Laker hater. And I tell you, you sound like those people when the Titanic hit that iceberg, right?
Oh, my God.
Everybody's scrambling trying to get to a boat, and those guys are playing the music like all is well, all is well. How is all is well when you can only play 5 guys? You ain't playing no bench. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this is real. This is real deal. This ain't Alice in Wonderland or Cinderella where the glass slipper gonna fit at the end. The glass slipper ain't fitting, bro.
Oh, my
okay.
God.
And he's free to foul. I'm staying off.
Listen, I promise you, they will come back.
Okay.
They're the Lakers. They will come back and
They're
win
the
this thing.
Lakers.
This
They are
year?
they are the Lakers.
This year? They're
They
coming
will
back?
come back.
They were the Lakers against the Nuggets the last 2 years. Where was that comeback?
Oh, my God.
He calling
Look
them
at
God
the Nuggets
alive.
are having a hard. The Nuggets are having a hard time with another one of our LA teams right now.
Well,
Okay.
I put it to you like this here. Okay?
Who are you, sir?
I'm Van Douglas, #1 Laker hater and prophet, and the one who called Minnesota winning this series before it tipped off. Now,
Okay.
let me ask you this, sir. If you can't play Jackson Hayes, and that's your only legitimate big, and these guys is running Gobert in there, Randall, Reed, and they running all them guys in there, and you ain't got no bigs. That's what's killing you right now. You don't have no bigs. You asking
have no
LeBron
one
to
to-
play center? You asking LeBron to play center against Gobert, against whoever's under there. Jackson Hayes is sitting over there taking up space on the bench. Can't even get in for 10 minutes. You care to comment on that, sir?
He's laughing. You got him laughing, brother. You said a lot of shit funny, bro.
I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna let the caller finish his thought. Before I
Go ahead, call it
all right.
finish.
Okay. I don't know why they're not playing him, but Luka was brought in for a reason.
That's true.
And I guarantee we're gonna come back and win this thing. We're gonna go back and we're
So
gonna
y'all got to
regroup.
win 3 straight.
We will, yes,
So y'all gonna win
3 straight.
I think
That's the
they're
only
gonna do
way.
it. Yes.
That's what he's saying.
Now, hey, what's that river in Minnesota called? I mean, in St. Louis called?
I know a river in
Egypt.
Egypt.
Mississippi.
I know a river in Egypt.
Yeah, the
The Nile.
Mississippi.
The Nile.
Okay. So I'm gonna say this, Laker fan from St. Louis. When the Lakers lose on Wednesday, there's some good fish in the Mississippi for some catfish. You know,
That's it, man.
you know, let Luka and them know if they want to get some good catfish, they can come to Minnesota after Wednesday. Okay, and I want you to be sure that you watch Shaq and them on Wednesday night when they do the fishing video. You're gonna see Luka, you're gonna see LeBron, you're gonna see Jeannie, you're gonna see Denzel, You're gonna see Diane Cannon. You're gonna see all of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Staples Center. So
Okay.
I just-
All right. Okay. Well, expect my call when it happens. Don't get scared.
No, okay.
Man, we the #1 Laker haters. Who's scared? I'll tell you what, you guys better get with the referees. Y'all gonna need
Okay.
serious ref help if y'all gonna win these last 3 games.
Okay.
You're making
all
them laugh, brother.
Okay. All right. I'll be calling back.
Well,
All
we-
right,
Please
sir.
do.
We will let you in, sir. We don't allow any Laker fans to call, but I want to commend you that my engineer, I think he felt sorry for your tone of your voice, and he
Okay,
went
all right.
on and said, "Get a brother a break, 'cause we know you in St. Louis, just feeling so sad, you know." And
Well,
tell
I
all your
appreciate
Laker
it. I appreciate
friends, the Laker lover friends in St. Louis, that the Lakers are going down in the first round.
Okay.
Tell 'em
I
all.
appreciate it too. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, Brian.
All
we'll,
right.
we'll allow you to call in, bro. You're the only one that's going to get a pass.
All
Okay.
right. All right. Thank you.
So Mo punches from
You
Carson.
got something to say to him, Freako Mo?
I was gonna let him complete his thought, but I'll make this point. So I thought that he was gonna give a reason, the reason he came in. He's gonna give some insight that non-Laker fans did not see.
Yeah.
But in jumping on what Hugh says, you look at how championships are won in the NBA, defense and rebounding, and Minnesota was the absolute worst matchup for the Lakers in first round.
Yeah.
We're big, we're athletic. So that means we're quick. Those lazy Laker passes become fast breaks. So there is a way the Lakers can win this series. Basically, Anthony Edwards could get injured. They can win the series then. It would not be the first time that LeBron's won the series because of a freak injury, down 3-1. But
Oh, my God.
other than that, I don't see a path forward for the Lakers, other than going forward to Cancun.
This is Hugh from Boston.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add to that. I don't see a path forward for the Lakers for the next couple of years.
And you are, what's your
Oh,
name,
my
sir?
God.
Hugh from Boston.
Hugh from Boston. That's Hugh
Okay,
from
that's
Boston,
good.
Brian.
You got- all right. Okay. All right.
And I have to tell you, sir, I've been watching the games for probably 70 years.
The game hasn't changed.
Yes.
Nope.
Okay? The game, when I say the game, what I mean by that is you gotta have big men. I don't care how many threes they shoot. I don't care how much they spread the floor. Any of that, right? If you ain't got no
Okay, all
size,
right.
you can't win. It's simple.
And that's the point that's being made based upon stats, because the Lakers had a chance to win this game, and I think that athleticism and/or size came back to bite them in the last 4 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
So the athleticism part is they're in shape, Luka's not, and they're under 30. LeBron's not. So it to me it looks tough for the Lakers, but I don't know. You know, maybe there'll be some divine intervention. Anything, I guess,
all
is
right,
possible.
okay.
It is Hollywood. Anything is possible.
That's true.
Yeah.
Everybody got this brother laughing, man. Hey, Mr. Brian,
All right, okay.
don't forget to call back next week, and we're
I
going to
will
see who
definitely do that. I
we're
will
going to
definitely
see
do that.
who the Lakers going to be playing next week, or we're going to see how that's going to
Okay.
work.
By the time Brian calls back next week, he'll be able to give LeBron and them a fishing itinerary. You know, tell them to come to St. Louis. They want to catch some good catfish.
Mississippi River runs right under those arches.
Okay. All right.
So, Brian, are you watching us on YouTube, sir?
I'm gonna try to find you now.
Yeah, it's Laker haters only, but we'll allow you to do that. Go ahead, sir.
Okay.
He laughing.
This going to change the subject a little bit, if it's all right.
Mr. Brian, yes.
Hugh from Boston. What do we think of J.J. Redick as a coach so far?
No, ask him that. Ask the guy from St. Louis that.
Brian,
Address that. Brian, could you answer this question?
I think he's
I
gone.
think he's going.
Or did he leave us?
Okay.
Is still there?
I think he may have hung up.
he's
So
going-
I have
Okay.
I'm going to answer that question because I have a friend who lives close to Brian. He lives in Mississippi, and he was giving me all sorts of grief after the Luka trade. And I tried to again to remind him of how championships are won in the NBA, and those rules only change when LeBron James seems to be implied or Luka seems to be, in the area. I'm like, you just traded away your size and you traded away your defense and your rebounding. I don't see it. JJ Redick. From this thing, hey, you make the point. He played a 40-year-old, 24 minutes in the second half, who's notorious for getting tired. He played a 26-year-old who's overweight and notorious for getting tired, 24 minutes in the second half. I don't think that was the brightest thing to do. He did make the decision. This is the one positive, and I think this is because he's forced into it, because the plus minus shows putting Jackson Hayes on the floor is basically suicide. So he did go small and try to play 5 out. I think that may have been a factor in missing a few rebounds. But from ownership's perspective, making that trade and thinking you're going to win this year, it may be more on ownership than JJ Redick, but I personally don't think JJ Redick got the job because he's a great coach. It may just be a coincidence that he had a podcast with LeBron before he got this job, or it could be the reason he got this job.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this: Van Douglas, #1 Laker hater. I think that when you look at what he did in the second half, okay, no Vanderbilt, no Gabe Vincent, no Jackson Hayes, okay. It could have been a fatigue thing at the end with LeBron and Luka, but I will say this. He came up big on letting Hashimura play the whole second half. Hashimura gave him something, okay? Reeves, and I said this before the series started, pay attention, Laker fans. You might learn a little something, okay? With Austin Reeves. All y'all, oh man, Reeves. How many 30-point games has Reeves had this series? I believe it's 0. I said that Reeves is going to end up having to guard Ant-Man, having to guard McDaniels. All these guys, those guys are bigger than he is, right? The only one he's really having success against is Conley. And just an example of how deep Minnesota is, Conley ain't giving them nothing. And he only had like 2 points today.
Piggybacking on the Conley comment, much like with the Clippers and Dunn, I'm not sure why he's playing so much because they do have Nickeil Alexander-Walker basically sitting there, who's 6'5". Yeah, but he was inexperienced last year, and they put him out there a lot too. And they have DiVincenzo, who is not inexperienced. So you have 2 point guards that you could be playing.
DiVincenzo, he came up big today for them too, even though
he shot poorly.
He shot poorly, and sometimes he's got poor shot selection. But as far as him guarding Luka, and it's just like I said, they have multiple guys they can put on Luka. So it's like I say, what you guys said earlier, there's no reason to double team him, So Wednesday, I'm gonna say this here. Everybody from Minnesota, from Ant-Man to DiVincenzo to McDaniels to Reed, basically you guys are starting this game Wednesday with 2 fouls.
Okay. Referee goes, okay. Did y'all hear that?
Everybody's
jump
gonna be
off
in
like
foul
that.
trouble on Wednesday for Minnesota.
Yeah.
Even the coach is gonna be in foul trouble.
Oh, they're gonna get a couple texts. Yeah, it's
Couple
coming.
texts, huh?
Yeah.
But the Lakers will still lose. That's what you're saying, bro.
And I'm saying
name
they're
of this
gonna do-
game-
they're gonna try to tilt it any way they can for the Lakers to win.
The name of this game is see the Lakers lose. This is the
I'm
only
just
way there
telling you
would
what
be
they gonna
joy in the Laker hater land.
But like I said, I already know the deal. I see it coming.
But you are the prophet. I'm kind of believing you, man. But I gotta go.
Short
against you
series
on
are
that
not
one.
profitable. Short series are not profitable from the NBA's perspective. A five-game series would be pretty
Well,
short. Yeah.
this is Hugh from Boston. I could see it going an extra game.
Yes.
I could see it going 6 and Minnesota winning at home.
Yeah, but then Shannon Sharp's prediction wouldn't be accurate.
But
No,
this is
Shannon said Lakers in 5.
He said it'll be over in 5.
Yeah.
So
He can
that
still be
means-
over in 5.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
But then again, Shannon, he I don't believe he's gonna be available for comment.
well, that's how
but,
well, he left his
neither
comment on
here
the
nor there.
board, so we all know what he said.
Yeah,
so
neither here or there.
that's another story.
that's a
Okay.
crazy
Yeah,
story.
well,
So-
we're gonna get into that.
So Mo Punches from Carson. So Hugh asked a question about coaching. One of the reasons I'm gonna make the point about one of the reasons I want to see this particular matchup. Has there irony been lost on anyone that if Minnesota does beat LA, it will be real Lakers beating fake Lakers?
Oh. Well, being that the Lakers came from Minneapolis, I get what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the same way they try to take the 5 championships that
yeah.
Minnesota won, and now they're ours, just because you guys relocated to LA, but because you kept the Laker name, you think you can take the championships from Minnesota and translate them here, which I've said was bullshit for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay? But you got Laker fans. They're still the Lakers. They're still the Lakers.
Yeah.
How long have we been talking about this, man? Ever since we've been doing this show for
Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
Those other wins should stay out of this state.
Well, if you look at and this is the thing that gets me with Laker fans. All you Laker fans got to do is go back and look at the championships y'all did win, and look at your front lines: Kareem, Wilt, Worthy, Shaq. You've had at least 3 of the all-time best centers in the game with Wilt, Kareem, Shaq. And then you had, Kareem had Worthy and Magic and Coop and all of them. He had a team around him.
Yeah.
But then you look at Shaq. Shaq had Kobe and
Big Shot Rob.
Big Shot Rob.
Did Kobe have shot?
And then when after Shaq left, you had Kobe, Gasol, Bynum. My point is, the Lakers, when they won those championships, always had size, right? And the size was the difference in them winning and them losing, right? Now the Lakers don't have the size, and the Laker fans are in denial. You don't have the size. You don't have the size. If they was to play Boston tomorrow, they get killed.
Be destroyed.
Okay? If they was to play OKC, they get killed. And see, everybody, we played OKC tough. That was a regular season. OKC played with their food in Memphis and still in the second round. 1-4 in a row. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers are down 3-1. And you're the number 3 seed. Oh, we're the number 3 seed. We got the 3 seed. So, you got the 3 seed. You're down 3-1. You're down 3-1.
And unless you're trying to pull some Denver miracle where you come back from 3-1 to win 3 in a row, get your plane tickets ready.
Well, LeBron has come back in being down 3-1 series.
That was in the finals, but that was with the help of
An injury to Bynum. That's my point. Injuries do happen, so LeBron may be
I mean,
counting
that was
on
also
or
the fact that
facilitating an injury.
Draymond.
Also with Draymond. the
That was
assistant with
Draymond getting
Yes,
getting
exactly.
suspended.
And then Bynum getting injured. I mean, not Bynum, but Bogut getting injured.
Yeah,
My bad,
Bogut,
I said
yeah.
Bynum. Bogut getting injured. And that injury changed the complexion of that series. So, yeah. So LeBron could be counting on, or facilitating an injury. I'm not sure which one it's going to be. But if that happens, sure, the Lakers could come back from 3-1.
I'm going to say this here, okay? Ant-Man and Randall, they like great white sharks. Remember what Ant-Man said at the beginning of the series? He said, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, yeah. All of y'all want the Lakers to win. Y'all pick the Lakers to win. That's nice. That's sweet. Okay? He left it at that. Randall, ex-Laker, is giving them all these.
Yeah.
All these. Okay? You telling me, like I said, I'm pretty sure they heard Shannon Sharp. I'm pretty sure they heard all the comments of Laker fans. Lakers in 5, Lakers in 5, Lakers in 5. They are going to be pumped to play this game on Wednesday. I mean, pumped.
Yeah, in LA. Okay, Mo Punches and
let's
Carson.
wait.
So there's actually 2 points I can make about that, but the first is going to be, you have basketball experts, right? Making predictions, right? What information was used to make the Laker prediction of the Lakers? Now, I'm not going to talk about gentleman's sweep of the Lakers winning the series. What justified, if you're an expert analyst, the Lakers winning the series?
Oh, I can answer that.
Go for it.
LeBron and Luka.
Again, now that's cool, but as an analyst of basketball, so let me be an amateur, let me be a non-paid person. I looked at that Luka trade and went, next season. Because I was like,
Oh, okay.
you got no size.
Right,
As you
right.
said, immediately, I'm like, how does LeBron James win his championships? He outsizes you, puts you in the matchups, and then gets you in the foul trouble. That's been his mode of operation for 20 years. I can't do that anymore. So how are you gonna win? So
Well, when you say next year
for the Lakers,
for the Lakers,
yeah.
next year, now I've heard some people saying this may be LeBron's last season with the Lakers and all of that. I think that he'll sign another 1-year deal. I think he'll take less money. And then the Lakers are going to go out here and address the elephant in the room. They need a big. Don't be surprised if you see Capella from Atlanta with the Lakers, or the Lakers going to get some kind of big, because Jackson Hayes, as we all are witnessing right now, Jackson Hayes can't even be on the court for 10 minutes. And see, and then another thing too, you bring up, when you play Luka straight up, Jackson Hayes ain't getting those lobs. When Gobert or whoever it is guarding Hayes, tries to switch off and double on LeBron, then Jackson Hayes is getting them lobs. He ain't getting them lobs now. We was talking about that in the regular season. Jackson Hayes. That's all they do is catch lobs. You ever seen him make a shot outside of the key? Think about it. You remember, Mo? You remember you? You remember Johnny? You remember Sheed?
Hold on, what are
You
we?
ever seen him make a shot outside the
Jackson
paint?
Hayes making a shot outside the paint.
I mean, that's never. He's a literal what? Okay, this is the best comparison I can make. Jackson Hayes is what DeAndre Jordan was for for the Clippers. He was literally our lob city.
Okay.
Vertical threat. So
Yeah.
before I forget my second point, I'm going to go back to the second point I was going to make, where I have to actually give Minnesota's GM credit for making a good decision. It was an obvious decision if you watch Minnesota multiple times, but GMs in the NBA don't always make the obvious decision. So you just talked about Randall and Anthony Edwards. But that was not the team last year.
No.
They had this fellow on there who was 7 foot tall, best shooter in the NBA, and found ways to disqualify himself from games when it came to the playoffs. So as a GM, I think that person went, yeah, we know where this is going. And he shipped him to New York and brought in a couple other players.
Bring in Randall and
And
DiVincenzo.
and handed the team to Anthony Edwards. Clearly, you are the primary. You don't have to share the ball with Cat anymore, because the Minnesota Timberwolves, even though they made it to play Dallas last year, were a disappointing team and have been a disappointing team for a couple of seasons. So I have to give the GM credit for making a team that can beat the Lakers, and that's what I appreciate. Okay, so yeah, that was a very good decision because Cat is an enigma, like most cats.
So if the Lakers go down Wednesday, will they be talking about changing head coaches? Or
No.
that narrative won't come up at all.
No.
Why not?
I'm asking.
That's what I'm saying.
right.
Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
I think
every
it
Laker
should come up.
Every Laker coach has had at least 2 years coaching that team. J.J. Redick, this is his first year. Now, in all fairness to J.J. Redick, they did win 50 games this year. Okay? That's one. Number two is when they traded for Luka, like I say, they traded away their size. They traded away their rim protector and all of that. So at the very least, in the offseason, they're going to try to go get another rim protector and then let JJ roll with that, right? That's why I say they won't make a coaching change. But after next year, if they go out again in the first round next year, after they make some adjustments, you might see one.
Well, I was just saying, with the narrative just come up, I'm not saying they were going to change it, but you will hear something about it. I'm asking.
The main, go ahead.
This is Hugh from Boston. I just, I think it depends whether LeBron signs again. I think if LeBron doesn't sign next year, Redick's
Reddick's out.
out.
Reddick's out.
That's how you
Or
got
certainly
it.
considered to be out. I can't.
Right.
No, but certainly under consideration.
I
But if
agree.
LeBron signs,
I'm all
I would
in.
tend to, I would
He
tend
is
to
not
agree with
going
Van.
anywhere. Yes. Mo Punch and Carson, I totally agree with you here because yes, Laker coaches have multiple years, but a couple of those coaches also had championships, so you had a little bit of leeway. Redick has done nothing to qualify that. 50 wins in the NBA, cool. In Laker land, what does that mean? So
Anything.
yeah, thank you. So I think, and here's the kicker: LeBron James is not getting any younger. So do you experiment for another year with an aging LeBron? So I think they will be in desperation mode. I think and is Jason Kidd available, by the way?
Yes.
Is there a Jason Kidd sighting in the coaching market?
He's available. I
Yes.
mean,
Yes, there
he
is.
don't have a job.
That's my point. He available. They have won a championship, and JJ Redick hadn't, and LeBron won it. Jason Kidd. So and he formerly coached another player on the Laker team.
Luca.
I'm seeing stars align here.
Literally have what? Okay, so you're saying have LeBron stay for 1 year. Now, do you move JJ Redick to an assistant coach, or do you straight up fire him and just
JJ
try
Redick's-
to get
Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd.
JJ Redick's ego ain't gonna allow that to happen.
What, to be assistant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Hugh from Boston. I agree 100% with Van. And he'd be a fool to take the job as an assistant coach because whoever they hired for a coach, JJ's sitting beside him on the bench to replace him.
Mo
Yeah, that
Punches
is
from-
a downgrade.
Okay, Mo Punches from Carson. So the question was asked about the quality. The quality of JJ Redick. How about Okay, so now we're talking about if Lakers go out and JJ Redick disappears, are the Lakers a better team if they had Jason Kidd on the bench? I'm just gonna ask you straight up.
I think that the Lakers I don't think it's right now with that team. It's not about who the coach is. It's about the lack of personnel that you have up front. And as far as center, somebody that can protect the rim, somebody that can at least throw a jump hook,
And a bench.
and a bench.
Okay, so quick interjection. Let's say that they improve their team, and all things being equal, they address some of the holes in the room as best they can going into next season. So now they have a better team. Is that team more dangerous with JJ Redick at the helm or Jason Kidd at the helm?
I would say that's a good one. I would say Jason Kidd because he has more coaching experience.
Thank you. I would much rather see. Unlike my friend, I don't respect JJ Redick as coach.
I've seen Kidd.
I love seeing him as like
I've seen Kidd get the Brooklyn Nets to the finals. I've
yeah.
seen him get the Dallas Mavericks
To
to
the
the
finals,
finals.
yeah.
So I mean, you make a valid point on that, But like I said, I believe that it could be in the cards because Dallas could be on the move to Vegas, right?
Yep.
And like I say, it's possible. But then again, if JJ's out there, somebody's gonna pick him up. Don't be. You got Michael Malone out there, and you tell me I believe that Michael Malone is gonna end up in New York. And speaking of New York, you want to talk about the money they paid the refs? Okay, 2 games in Detroit.
Here we go.
And it was a 3-point difference in 2 games. And in the third game, it was a 2-point game. Cunningham drove to the basket, got fouled. They didn't call it. They run back the other way. Brunson hits a shot. Game over. Okay? Today, Hardaway fouled in the corner. Y'all ain't got to believe me. Look at what the refs said. The refs said a foul should have been called. Well, if a foul should have been called, how come you didn't call it?
Because New York City is the mecca for basketball in the NBA. Early
You know
exit
what's
for
going
New
to
York
be funny?
Knicks.
You know what's going to be funny? See, the next round, you get to the next round, they got to go see Hugh in there. Right?
That's gonna be over quick.
Don't play with your food, Hugh. Don't play with your food, man.
Me? I wouldn't do anything.
I mean, I'm looking like, okay, when Boston hit that switch, what's New York gonna do?
They're toast.
Yeah.
They're barely beating an inexperienced team, and it took. Wait a minute. You're talking about the games in Detroit.
Yeah.
How about Game 2 in New York? They were doing more diving than Michael Phelps.
Brunson and them.
Brunson, you had the 2 guard who plays power forward diving. You had even Mikal Bridges took a dive off a pick.
Yeah.
The only way they beat Detroit was diving.
Yeah.
Oh no, Detroit still won that game. But they should have gotten some. Detroit should have gotten some calls in Detroit because I'm thinking the series over. If this is the only way you can beat Detroit, then when you go to Detroit, Detroit's gonna kill you.
I'm looking at it, and I'm like saying, I called Detroit to win that series. And I know everybody, yeah, Prophet, yeah. But I tell you what, like I said, I could make the argument that Detroit could have swept New York. They had an 8-point, 10-point lead in game 1, but that inexperience showed up, and they gave up a 21-0 run. Then game 2, they won game 2, and then game 3 and game 4 came down to 3 points combined, and the refs said they blew a call that would have put Detroit at the line with a chance to win the game.
For 3 shots.
Come on, man. I mean, come on.
No, that was pretty bad. Haven't seen it. It's like that was horrible. And how you missed that when again, this does go back to the New York game. If you're blowing New York and it's a foul call, but this guy is obviously hitting the corner and it's not a foul call, it looks like you're kind of biased.
Yeah.
So, just saying. I know Cade Cunningham is having issues because he's fighting with Anunoby, but those would be fouls for Brunson.
Exactly.
That's the other thing. So I'll just say I'm not quite sure what the refs are seeing, but in going back to New York City, if New York gets calls like they were getting in Game 2, the NBA is going to have an image problem.
Oh yes, absolutely.
They already have an image
They
problem.
actually do already have.
Okay, let me stop everybody for a minute. Go around the horn, identify yourself. I gotta take a little break. I gotta, give some love out to some of these sponsors that we have. Go around the horn, sir. Who are you?
I'm Van Douglas, #1 Laker hater, Prophet. I will have some people out there on the bridges after Game 5 on Wednesday. We don't want you guys to jump off the bridge.
All over the country, right?
Hugh from Boston.
Mo Punches from Carson.
I'm Johnny.
I'm not trying to save him.
Johnny,
Go ahead and jump. Maybe you can fly.
This is Johnny hanging in with these cats. These cats sound like they know what they're talking about. My engineer's over in the corner. He came in to bounce some commercials off for us. Watch this.
Come on, stand up for me and just lift your hand.
Hanging out with Johnny and Cheryl. Johnny and Cheryl. I'm hanging out with Cheryl, Johnny and Cheryl. We're hanging. Johnny and Cheryl, 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 hanging. Johnny and Cheryl, Cheryl and Johnny, Johnny and Cheryl, Cheryl and Johnny, Johnny and Cheryl.
Hello, my name is Robert Malik. I'm a member of the Earl Gardner Veterans Group. We're a veterans group that helps veterans get service-connected compensation. We say, are you a veteran of the U.S. military? Then get benefits and financial compensation. Did you serve during the Vietnam, Iraq, Kuwait, Afghanistan wars, or even the Korean War or World War II? You can act now. You are suffering from PTSD and you need counseling. You are losing VA benefits because you are eligible for financial compensation. Come to a PTSD meeting of vets to find out what you're missing. We meet 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays. Where? At the Inglewood Community Center, 2640B Imperial Highway, directly across from the U.S. Post Office at the corner of Crenshaw and Imperial. Or call 323-291-1517 or 323-559-8196. We're here to help. We're veterans helping veterans. Thank you.
Dr. Sebi was a world-renowned herbalist who cured many diseases with his holistic approach to nutrition and herbs over the last 50-plus years. Dr. Sebi formulated African biomineral herbal products that cleanse and nourish the body on a cellular level. His products, in conjunction with his nutritional guide, support the body's natural ability to regenerate and heal. Dr. Sebi proved that his formulas can reverse disease. And in 1988, through the state of New York Supreme Court, Dr. Sebi's products were classified as natural vegetation cell food by Lancaster Labs. Dr. Sebi believed that the root cause of all disease was mucus. Thus, disease manifests itself in the body where mucus has accumulated. Disease only lives in an acidic environment. Dr. Sebi's products help cleanse the body by extracting mucus, and they nourish the body by providing minerals and nutrients on a cellular level. His nutritional guide promotes an alkaline environment in the body to support the healing process and achieve optimum health. None of this information is intended to replace any program that your medical doctor has prescribed for you. You may contact them at 310-838-2490. That's 310-838-2490. Their hours are Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m., and their lunch hour is from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Visit the website at www.drsabyscellfood.com for more information.
Yes, and for more information, of course, that address is 2807 South La Cienega. That's one street light west of La Cienega Boulevard in Los Angeles, California. They're open every day, including Saturdays, from 9 to 5, and on Saturdays they're open from 9 to 2. So get over there. Let them know where you got this information from, because it's very important, because it's from the Gospel Hours with Johnny and Cheryl. Or everybody can say it, Cheryl and Johnny. How about that? Yeah, so let them know what's going on over there.
All right, and so if you want to go to the website, you can go to drsabyscellfood.com. That is drsebyscellfood.com. drsabyscellfood.com.
All right. You know, Dr. Sabi has some sea moss gel. I'm not sure if anybody was aware of that. They have gel over there now.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's a good deal. I mean, you know, just to get it's like Jell-O, but it's sea moss. It's a good eating. You know, you get your spoonful every day, man, and make everything tight. If you know what I mean. All right, well, we left off with what we were talking about. J.J. Redick keeping his job, or what was we
We were talking about that, and Hugh from Boston, just tossing out another concept. What are they going to do with Pelinka? What is he going to do? Or what has he done?
Pelinka.
So we're going up in a higher tier now.
Pelinka get at least another year, and the reason he'll get another year or so is because he had to swing the deal for Luka. He had to give up AD, and he had to give up Christie and to get Luka. So he deserves a chance to have the opportunity to build a team around Luka.
All right, fair enough.
Okay.
But getting the next Lakers superstar actually should give him a lot of credibility.
Well, see, that's another thing. Let's say LeBron, he leaves, okay? Who's the next superstar?
Well, I'm presuming that Luka is.
The Lakers don't have anybody they can trade. They ain't got no trade value. So it's got to be a free agent. Who's going to let a superstar become a free agent?
Well, the next Lakers superstar, the next cornerstone player, I presume, is Luka. So if you're saying, are they going to get someone to pair with him? That's a little bit different.
A free agent.
Yeah, it's going to be a different. Well, we talked about Kevin Durant. He's going to be a free agent in a year. So an unrestricted free agent too. So Durant gets to go where he wants to go.
Right.
He just has to sit
Hugh
through
from
a year.
Boston. Why would Durant want to go to the Lakers?
Because of the history of championships, which he doesn't have.
Why would Luka? I got
Why
one
would
better.
I repeat the question.
I got
Why would he
one
go
better.
with the Lakers? They're not going to
Why
have a
would
championship
Luka?
in the next 3 years.
But that's just it. You pair him up with Luka, and presumptively you can contend for a championship.
What if Luka decides I'm going to go to Denver and go with Jokic?
They're going to find that out really quickly, like, because he gets to sign or not sign his contract at the end of this year. I think that's true. So that's going to be a quickie. But that would basically disqualify Pelinka then as a basketball head of basketball operations GM, because if you traded away one great player, then lose the other great player, and you leave the Lakers bare, that would be bad. But the upside is they'll have lots of money to got to go chase, another superstar. But his history would have proven that he can't grab one. So, yeah.
See, the Lakers, and every time we had this conversation, and we say, well, the Lakers are finally backed into a corner. And we say, well, how they going to pull off getting another super when they had LeBron and AD, right? And it was like, okay, LeBron has a no trade clause, okay? So with that being said, he shot his shot and traded AD, and he got Luka.
Yes.
Okay? But now, again, LeBron has a no trade clause, and LeBron gonna be 41 years old. Who's gonna trade for him? Who's gonna trade for him? And then if you look at if LeBron retires, what trade value do the Lakers have other than Luka?
Proven commodity, yes. They have a couple that will have at least one piece that some people may want.
So the question is, what's the NBA gonna do about getting another superstar to come play with Luka when the Lakers don't have no trade value?
Nor any first-round draft picks this year. I think next season they do have one. And here's the problem, because if they had a first-round draft pick this season, they would probably have a shot at Flag, who has announced that he's coming out. So that could be the next great.
Who's got the number 1 pick? Oh, they got to do the lottery.
They have to do lottery, but the worst team, Utah is close for sure.
Right.
I can't think of who in the East. I know who in the East is bad. Chicago is pretty bad. They played their way out of the 10th spot, so they're at least 11.
Wouldn't that be crazy if Chicago got the number 1 pick?
That's
and
what
ended up with
the
Cooper
rumors are.
Flag?
They're trying to get Flag into Chicago.
Yeah.
So if it happens, just coincidence that it was rumored and he just showed up in Chicago.
Or what if San Antonio gets the number 1 pick?
Now that would
and he
just be
go
crazy.
down
Okay, that would just Mr. Carson. You have Wembanyama with Flag with the guy who's going to win Rookie of the Year because the fellow in Philly got injured.
And don't forget Fox.
Oh
Point
yeah, I've
guard.
forgotten about Fox. Yeah. So that would be a little powerhouse. If they have Flag plus Wemby plus Fox plus, I keep forgetting his name. I know him because he won a championship with Connecticut. How you gonna match up with that team? Yeah, Castle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How you gonna match up with that team?
You can't.
You can't. That's 4 or 5 championships over the next decade. Yeah. If Wemby can stay healthy. Yeah.
But you know what? You're looking at the Lakers being exposed right before your eyes. Yeah, your eyes too, Laker fans.
Is he still listening?
What I'm saying is that now they the ones that ain't got no size.
Yes.
They the ones who is getting outscored in the paint every game. They the ones that when the refs call it fair and square, they're coming up short. They don't have the free throw disparity in games 2, 3, and 4 of this series has not been what it was.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I believe that the last 3 games, Minnesota has shot more free throws as a team than the Lakers have. And you look at what you got. Game 2, okay, the Lakers was hot from the 3-point line. Minnesota struggled. But it was a lot of the no calls. If you remember game 2, every time they showed who was in foul trouble, it was all Minnesota. It was DiVincenzo, it was McDaniels, it was Naj Reid. All of the key guys was in foul trouble. So, like I said, Wednesday, Minnesota has to say, we're gonna keep taking it to the hole, see if we still get the calls that we should get, and force the referees to call a foul. And that's what they've been doing. Reeves was in foul trouble all day today because they went at him and they attacked him. And he had a goose egg in the first half. The second half, he got off because you guys, you and Mo, y'all called it. Why y'all start doubling Luka and leaving Reeves all alone? Reeves had 2 looks. And he had a clean look at the end of the game, considering how much time was left. You knew they was gonna pick Luka up full court, right? So it took Luka about 5 or 6 seconds to get the ball over. Now you down to like 3 seconds. Okay, LeBron, he throws it to LeBron. LeBron throws it to Reeves. Okay, this is it.
And Reeves had a good look.
He had a good look.
Yeah.
You know, but see, Minnesota, to me, they messed up again. They need a 3. You pick Luka up, yeah, you could have fouled. They could have fouled.
We almost lost a game in our league championship.
They could have fouled. And that would have been it. I don't know why these NBA teams do that.
It's a philosophical choice. I know there's some teams like Ty Lue is a fouler. Doc Reeves is a let him shoot it. And we've lost playoff games because of Doc Rivers. So it's just philosophy. Me personally, I believe in fouling, make them free throw, and then make them luck up. That's just his choice. I wouldn't have let the Lakers take that shot.
No.
I would have put someone on the line. They didn't have any timeouts. That's the other thing. If they had timeout, you could argue it. But if you get your rebound and you go down and shoot your free throws, they're not gonna have enough time to get the ball over half court to even threaten.
So the next 2 days, be prepared. If you listen to 710, they're gonna be having prayer meetings the next 2 days on 710. Be prepared for the crying on the call that should have went off off of Ant-Man out of bounds. It was off of Ant-Man, and they called a foul on LeBron. Well, you get ready to hear that one in the next 2 days.
This is Hugh from Boston.
It was a foul, brother.
It already started.
Oh, it has.
When I got here late, that's what I was listening to. That certain radio station was not handling any calls that had anything bad to say about the Lakers.
That's
They
how they
announced
do.
it right there. The guy just said, we'll just hang up on you. We don't
Yeah.
want people like that. We want to hear all of the good stuff. And
What's good about
So it was a
being
lot of
down 3
silence.
to 1?
It was a lot of silence.
What's good about being down 3 to 1?
So there was a
well,
lot
I
of
mean,
silence.
I'm going
yeah.
back to my original thing, and I'll go back to last week.
But
The Lakers are going to lose, whether it be Wednesday or the next day. And then where are they going? And what are they doing?
And
So
so
going to
it-
St. Louis to go fishing with
Yeah.
Brian.
and so
But
yeah,
they've got to make major changes
surgery,
to get
yes.
anything to get a team that's competitive for a championship.
or just a
You
team
can
that's
get a
competitive.
500 team.
Yes.
That's nothing.
I just believe they need a legitimate big. They need a legitimate big. Somebody that's going to protect the rim. Somebody that's going to.
But-
Yeah, but we can't come up with anybody
the-
close because of all of the problems that they backed themselves into.
But the type of person that you've described is someone who can demand a lot of money on the open market. And even if LeBron does what he should do, which historically he's not done. Do you remember a point where LeBron has never tried to max out his money? I can see one, but that one I don't think he did either. Dwayne Wade was the one who sacrificed in Miami. It was not LeBron.
No.
LeBron doesn't sacrifice. So it could be, maybe he could be magnanimous because it's the last year or something, and so he can kind of do that. But that's just not the nature of LeBron James. This is one of the reasons he makes me crazy as a player. Because unlike Magic, who said, I'm going to make it up in advertising because I'm going to be in championship games. LeBron's like, no, I want my cake and eat it too.
Right.
So if he does what he typically does, there ain't gonna be a lot of money to sign someone. If he goes outside himself and says, I will play for, if it's even the veteran minimum, will that get the Lakers under the cap? Even if it's the veteran minimum. Now if they're not under the cap, what can he offer? Mid-level exception or something like that?
Yeah.
So that means the person who would have to want to play for LA as a free agent, because I can't trade for him. You just said it and said we don't have any capital. I know of one piece that I would like, and I've talked about that piece multiple times. And so there may be some teams out there that will want that piece that could kind of start the ball rolling. But that's still only like $7-8 million in addition to whatever else. So you're still not talking about, in today's NBA, a lot of money. It's going to be tough with the way this team is currently constructed to improve them significantly unless someone just says, I want to play for LA. Which is not outside of the realm of possibility. Because if LeBron stays, this is what you're not saying. Clutch Sports has its fingers connected to a lot of players. How do you think AD made it to LA? Was it because they look like a championship team?
Yeah.
Let me just pursue something you said, Mo, about LeBron never giving up anything. I was just thinking from a strange aspect, but from the tax aspect. LeBron has only given up 50% or whatever number that it looks like he is. Between your federal and state tax rate, he's paying 48, 49% of his salary
Okay.
in taxes. Now there's differences for pension and all that kind of crap, but so we're really only talking 50 cents on the dollar. So he could
Okay, but I have a counter to that.
give up $20 million and it's only going to cost him 10.
But I have a counter to that. One of the reasons he moved here is because of the opportunities that Hollywood affords. You can only really be matched by New York City. And that New York team is not going to give him to a championship. So even though the tax rate is burning him, I don't know if the tax rate would be incredibly much better in New York. And you get your Hollywood connections where
No,
you
it
can
isn't.
make,
No, he's better off here for what he wants to do with his objectives. I guess what I was trying to make the point is he's not giving up a dollar for a dollar if he concedes part of his salary
because of the tax.
because of taxes.
Yeah.
It's only costing him half.
I can see, mathematically that's the case. But I think it's
That was the only point I was trying to make, that he could say that, well, I gave up $20 million of my salary. No, you didn't. You only gave up 10 because the rest of it was going to taxes anyway.
Okay, so let me qualify this before you jump in here. From LeBron's perspective, I think it's just the absolute number. He just likes being able to claim that this is how much money, even if he has to pay taxes, but he can say this is how much I earn versus whatever. So yeah, because he was definitely making more money in Miami. They don't have state tax, for example. So the 49 million was a lot, and we didn't have tariffs, so the dollars were worth more. And so, but yeah, so that's my perspective of LeBron. Yeah, I don't think he looks at the ultimate math. I think he looks at the immediate math because he can kind of say, I'm the third highest ranked player by pay in the NBA, and I'm 40 years. You know, that sort of stuff. It's an ego thing.
No, I know what you're saying. It's just totally ego in my book, and I always
Totally
have
ego.
trouble with that.
Yeah.
Because your point, I thought, was is that LeBron could make the team better if he
could.
would concede some of this stuff.
He could.
But based on his ego, it
won't.
will never happen.
He won't.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm just looking at what Hugh was saying. He was listening to 710 on his way in. That's why I get on them guys. They're in denial. You know, I'm pretty sure you had fans that were getting on the radio now that they're down 3-1. You probably still had fans coming back. We can come back and still do this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Hugh from Boston, absolutely. It was 2 or 3 callers, starting that.
Yeah.
But I'd have to be honest with you. I mean, what's today? Sunday. I guess I was in the office Friday night, and I was walking out, and 2 or 3 of my friends, guaranteed Laker win. I said, what planet are you from?
Yeah.
But they're all believing it.
That's how they believe, man.
You know who I'm? Well, you know one of the guys in the building, Hardy.
How's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parting words to me as I was walking out of the office, 7:00 at night.
Well, that's
Lakers got this all locked
They're
up.
there, brother.
Okay, but they're in a dream world.
our brother in St. Louis, Brian. He's crying, but he's hoping.
Yeah.
You
He's
know,
at home. But I mean, again,
Those are the
my
guys.
mind, Lakers have not much of a future in the next 3-4 years.
Well, what's the chance of LeBron leaving the Lakers? Would that shock the nation? LeBron, Laker
No,
Nation.
because he's 40 years old, gonna be 41
know,
years
man.
old. They could just retire. Either LeBron gonna be just like Aaron Rodgers.
He can pick up.
I got one for this is his ego again. Good question, Uncle Johnny. Because what does LeBron want more than he wants Bronny in the NBA? It's a really easy answer.
Well, he want a ring.
He wants 6 rings.
He
He
want
ain't
a
getting
ring.
6.
He wants that legacy
He wants to match the GOAT.
because literally,
But he
like,
can't match the goal.
If he goes to a team, if he goes to OKC for veteran minimum,
Yeah.
can he get himself two championships over the next couple of seasons?
because like let's look at the
That's
number.
why that's a good question. Would he leave LA? What he wants to? He doesn't want
a
to
ring
necessarily
seeker.
win for LA. He's
he
a
wants to win
mercenary.
Yeah.
He's
He
won
wants
in
to win for
Miami. He's
himself.
won in
Right.
Cleveland. He's won in LA.
Right.
He just wants the
He
rings.
travels around a lot.
If he's out of his contract.
I'm gonna put it to you this way: OKC don't need him.
I'm not arguing
There is.
he would walk up and volunteer to play for them. I'll bring Bronny along is what he's saying.
He wants the ring.
He wants the rings. You can
And I
have
just-
me as a part of your legacy.
Yeah.
He's trying to pitch himself. He just wants to be on the bandwagon so he can say, look at my hardware.
Well, no, but I'm saying this. Let's look at the hard. You say, look at my hardware. Let's look at the hardware you didn't get. You had 6 other opportunities to get hardware, and you lost 6 times. Jordan never lost. You stop trying to compare yourself to Jordan.
Well, punches from Carson. I totally agree with you, but Bron fans don't count negative math.
Right.
Subtraction does not figure into their brain at all. All they see is addition. So if he can get 2 rings, they ain't seeing 50%. They just see 6.
It's just
Right, and it's like
That's the way Bron fans work.
right, but then let's look at the flip side. I'm gonna play devil's advocate because it's like how long did it take Jordan to even get to that mountaintop?
about 8 years.
Right, fact about
8, 9, yeah.
and like we always say, you don't win a championship by yourself. We saw that with Iverson, and we saw that with Bron during his rookie years, in which he got them to the finals with that team that he had, and with
Big Zoo. Yeah.
and with Allen Iverson, with
Varejao.
in fact, with the Sixers team that he had going up against the Lakers.
But see, you're
And
talking common
then,
sense.
and then, I got another one for you. When Dwight Howard got the Magic to the finals.
But everything you're saying is showing how weak the East was. And so LeBron claiming I made it to the championship 10 times. So a rational person looks at that and says, there was nothing in the East.
There was
Because
literally nothing.
LeBron had because Michael Jordan had cleaned out the East. He'd run Charles Barkley to the West. He'd run Shaq to the West. So that those players who would have been there to solidify the East were now in the West. That's why the West is so tough even today. So you're talking reason. I don't disagree. You're talking reason.
Right, because-
But what I'm saying
because-
is LeBron fans are irrational, and LeBron himself is irrational. He's all ego. He's saying Michael won 6. If I can find a way to win 6, that's all that matters.
Right,
And
But
so
we won't discuss the fact that you lost it.
we are not going to discuss the fact that you lost this. See, she's
Because
saying,
you lost
see,
one of those 6 to a Dallas Mavericks that
Jump
really
shooting.
didn't have anything.
a jump shooting Dallas Mavericks team. Yes, you found a way to lose to the Dallas Mavericks.
Right, and
But-
but then let's also look at the East during that time because literally, yeah, in fact, like I'm sorry to say, Hugh, but Boston wasn't really much of like
a factor.
an actual
They had
factor.
their run,
In fact,
yeah.
No.
in fact,
They had a real bad stretch.
Right.
We can live with it.
right, in fact,
After the big 3, well, the big
until
4.5,
y'all
3.5.
got that actual championship with Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and
Kevin Garnett.
Garnett, which gave
But
Paul.
don't forget about Rondo, because he was the cornerstone. He was.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We can never
Keystone
forget
of that
Rondo because let's say Rondo contributed
17.
in
We
both
don't talk about
for
Rondo.
Boston
No.
and for the Mickey ring.
Well, I just got to interject one thing. With all due respect, we were talking about LeBron and Michael Jordan and whatever.
No.
But why is the 7th ring so important? Maybe he should measure himself against
Michael Jordan.
the really greatest all time.
I can call
Bill
him back.
Russell.
Let me see.
That's
Yes.
correct. Just couldn't let it pass.
I knew where you were going with it, but
Yep.
the,
Go on,
again,
right in front, right up in your face with it. Not your face, but yeah.
But Bron fans don't talk logic. Again, if it's a ring argument, yeah, they just see LeBron. We need to make LeBron better than Michael Jordan. And they tried to hack Jordan, but like they tried to hack some of Jordan's stats, and then they realized that LeBron was getting phantom assists, for example, and so they left that alone. I'm just saying, Uncle Johnny asked the question. I can see a scenario where LeBron knows I cannot win in LA. Why am I continuing to play?
Got to go.
I got 2 years left. There's a team over there that's young. They're under the cap. I can go over there, make a little bit of money, but get some cheap rings. I see him doing that in an instant.
I could see that happening.
Yeah. It's just like, let's take for example, when Houston was winning and Barkley saw an opportunity to win a ring, and he
we have a
messed
caller.
up the Houston chemistry.
Okay, y'all, we have a call. Let's find out who this call is and what do they want. Caller, could you identify yourself?
This is Gerald Caroline from McDonough in Georgia.
Oh, he's a Laker lover.
Hi,
Way
Daryl.
on here.
Man, you called the wrong
I'm
show,
hating
but
them
we'll
right
let you
now.
in.
I'm hating them right now.
Are you hating him right now? Okay. Well, you can get
right
in
now.
then. We'll let you in since you're hating.
They only play 6 people. How you gonna win the game only playing 6 people?
Well, tell us why you're hating on your team
Big
right
players.
now. You can
Coach
get
is an
in.
idiot.
Why you hating, sir?
And what happened to Dawson Connect? The so-called steal of the draft.
Thank you.
Haven't played the whole series.
Hasn't played
Bad
the half-
coaching.
last
Sure,
half quarter
we
of the season.
supposedly have to need it. He don't play it at all.
Mm.
If I was Dawson Connect after the season, I'd say crazy.
Uh-oh.
More punches from Carson.
So it don't make no sense.
I'm going to jump on what Daryl says because honestly, Connect could have helped them. When Reeves wasn't making shots, you could have put Connect in there. He has size, he's athletic, and he can shoot a three.
Reeves
The coach
is,
didn't see that.
Connect is a liability on defense.
So is Reeves. So what do you
You
lose?
see, yeah.
Reeves wasn't making anything. You
We
put
have to
Connect
remember
in.
Reeves was 0 for whatever it was
In the first half.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is switching out a bigger, more athletic version of Reeves, switching him into the game. That would have been a no-brainer for me.
Was that your point, sir?
That's exactly my point. And you add depth to your lineup. So if your other team's playing 9 people, you're wearing your people out. So at the end of the game, you don't have enough energy to finish.
Well,
You're not
Daryl,
playing your bench.
This is Hugh from Boston, Daryl. I agree with you, but the problem is the Lakers don't have many more than 5 players that can play. The bench is non-existent.
No, you didn't. Well, you had Connect. You have Vanderbilt. They didn't play him.
good point.
You had Connect. So you just gotta build
That's 7
confidence
right there.
in your play.
So
If you're
you
not
have every
building
right to
confidence in your
call
play,
today,
that's what
son.
Golden State does. Golden State build
Boom.
confidence in their new play.
Golden State understands how to play small players. Points to one of Daryl. Hugh asked the question about Reed's credibility as a coach. You just named 2 players who could have helped them. And so let me answer that question. No, he's not a good coach. Because Daryl made a point. Like, yeah, Vanderbilt should have played and Connect should have played.
Right.
He's not a good coach.
But no, thank you, because I think we talked about this
Yeah, we talked about that an hour ago.
I'm not
and
a
Daryl
J.J.
called it
Redick
in,
fan.
highlighted. Van made the point about Vanderbilt, but once he mentioned Connect, I'm like, especially after the first half Reeves had, there is no reason that he should have. And you give him experience for next season. And the other piece of this is, now you've worn out. You went all in. You were in Vegas. You went all in, and now you lost your house. Where are you going to sleep? Because now they got to play another game in 2 days.
Yeah.
And these guys ran for 40 minutes.
Is it
No, the next game is Wednesday.
Wednesday.
that game? Where's that game?
Okay, so
at?
you have an
In
extra day.
LA
That's
or
good. Because if they had to play in 2 days, those legs are going to be heavy.
Oh yeah, because
Woo.
they got to travel back out here to LA.
Yeah, and
2 hour ride.
I looked at the player stats of the Thunder game and the Golden State games, and all those teams are playing 8 to 9 players. You don't dwindle your rotation down to 6 players. That's not gonna work.
Part of that is the 2 teams that you mentioned, right? Golden State, OKC.
Yeah.
We can basically agree that OKC has one superstar over there, and that's Shea. Okay? Golden State, one superstar.
And one
That's
star.
Steph.
But one really big star.
But you got Butler, who's playoff Jimmy, who didn't play yesterday.
And they still
But
won.
to prove what Daryl is saying, they had to play Post, they had to play Moody, they had to play Payton, they had to play Buddy Hield.
Exactly.
All of these guys.
And he missed the matchup and found a way to get a win.
And they found a way to win it. But with the Lakers, when you trade away your paint, and that's what they did when they traded AD for Luka, right? You could have made it work with You could have made it work with LeBron, Reeves, and AD.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been giving up all those points in the paint. And AD was going to give you more than Jackson Hayes. Ain't nobody. See, that's what gets me with the Laker fans. That's what y'all should be looking at. You went from Anthony Davis to Jackson Hayes.
No, you went from Anthony Davis to Dorian Finney-Smith because Jackson Hayes wasn't playing. But what you said about Golden State is what's damning about this call-in. Kerr does not like playing rookies.
No.
And Post got big minutes.
Because he had to. He had
Reeves
no
had to play connect, and he didn't.
Exactly.
That's my point.
Yeah, I get
Kerr
it.
hates playing rookies. Hates it. And he sacrificed and played post. Reeves would not play a dude who could help him.
Yeah, JJ
And he
Redick.
played Kuminga too.
That shooting
Till the
guard.
Kaminga fell out the rotation.
But when Butler
The
got
shooting
hurt,
guard
he
they
had
have.
to play Kuminga.
And he took him out in the second half and didn't play him again.
Yeah.
Because but he tried before he did that. So this is why, again, this call is so, now you line it up versus Golden State. I'm going to play a rookie big man that I'd rather not play. I got a rookie sharpshooter who has proven he can make shots. I ain't going to play him.
I would have maybe tried to put him in instead of, because Finney-Smith, he didn't make, he made a couple of shots, but
He made a big shot
was
at the
off
end.
too.
Yeah.
So you could have gave
Connect those shots.
Finney-Smith shots.
Yep. But like I said, desperate times calls for desperate measures. Hey, I'm playing small anyway. Reeves is not playing well. Who else I got on the bench? Oh, he showed he can make shots. I ain't gonna play him. Okay, well, you lost this game. That was your decision.
And see, here's the thing. The Lakers was catching hell scoring against Minnesota's defense. And they had Luka and LeBron in them out there. It was like Luka and LeBron was carrying the wagon. Okay, now you got to give Hashimura credit to that. I'm giving him credit because he showed it. He gave him 23 points. That was big. That's what kept him in the game. Luka and LeBron gonna get theirs, but what had him in the game was Hashimura. You know.
So Daryl, we feel your pain. I think you revealed that your coach is an idiot, or he's basically a plant because he's LeBron's buddy. Check your pick. I go with the latter.
He's showing himself to be a rookie coach. When at the beginning of the year, when he locked himself into a 9-man rotation, and then I think their bench was deeper than that. You got especially when you have an old player like LeBron. And so you went from a 9-man philosophy to a 6-man. It don't make sense.
So this is pointing again to before you leave, Daryl, I gotta ask because I have a friend. I tried to talk him down. He was on the ledge. He was so happy. After the trade, what did you think your chances of winning the championship were?
After the trade?
After the Luka trade. After you lost AD.
I think our chances went down a couple of notches.
Okay. So
That's why he's a
saying
hater.
Laker fan.
He's a hater now.
He gives the same scoring.
So he's a realistic Laker fan.
Basketball
With
fan
defense.
who likes the Lakers. Okay.
Well, this is Hugh from Boston. I'll just add to it. When they first traded, and Luka came here, and forgot his name, the other player, when they traded from the Lakers.
Oh, Christie, and traded from the Lakers.
No, the big player.
Look,
Oh, AD.
AD, sorry.
AD, Anthony Davis.
When they did that, I thought about it, and I said, maybe Dallas got out a little bit ahead the first year. But after that year, the Lakers came out ahead in the trade. I think that's kind of what we're talking about a little bit. They gave up too much for this year to win anything. As Van says.
I'm gonna tell you this right here. The Laker fans should know this because of the past. When you say Shaq, Kareem, Will, you could say Gasol, Bynum. You cannot get dominated in the paint. You cannot get outscored in the paint. I don't care how many threes you hit, any of that. You get outscored in the paint and stuff, and just like everybody was saying, how come they don't take the ball to the basket? Because Gobert's down there waiting on you. Bring
That's
it in
all
here, go
Gobert
if you
is
want.
doing for this series. Sitting
Yeah.
down there waiting.
Yeah, he's waiting on you to come to the hoop. I said before the series started, Lakers gonna have to shoot lights out from the three. So they ain't getting a bunch of points in the paint. Look how it's playing out.
Exactly that way.
Like
I'll
the
qualify that
philosopher
with,
said.
you cannot get outscored in the paint unless you're Golden State 2022.
But
That's what came to my mind was Golden State. So.
But see, Lakers fans.
Because Charles Barkley said the same thing. He had to eat that crow.
But see, Laker fans, they fail to realize this. How many years when y'all was winning championships, y'all had the advantage in the paint? Now
They
you
don't.
ain't got the advantage in the
Exactly.
paint, and you still on here wishing for a star, thinking you in a fairy tale when this is some real life shit going on right now. You get your ass whooped, but you ain't got nobody in the paint.
But that's why when my friend from Mississippi made the statement, because he was the one that told me the structure of how LeBron won or wins or size or whatever, and then he traded away that size, and I was like, but you told me this is the way they win. Now that that's not there, you're still telling me they have a path to winning, and that's why I asked after the trade. To me, the trade was made in spite of LeBron, you can say, because I agree with you. If they don't win this season, I don't see it. And I didn't see them winning this season, so I'm like, I think the trade was made to build teams around Luka.
Right.
And so I see, so that kind of says they may be willing to part ways with LeBron James.
Okay, right.
Because they see, when was the last time, and I know the obvious answer, the last time you had I don't want to say built a championship team around a 40-year-old, but you had a championship team that depended greatly on a 40-year-old.
Well, you know, Laker fans will say it's a first time for everything. Okay.
Okay.
And this is the thing where, like when he was saying, when he was listening to 710, we're not taking any negative calls on the Lakers. If you're talking negative, we're gonna hang up. And we're gonna block you.
Then just be
And
positive.
y'all don't want the truth.
Then just be
You guys
positive.
are just into your own truth.
Yeah.
You're like Cowboy fans in the NFL.
Oh.
Well, I think back east we used to call them fair weather fans.
Yeah.
That's what the Laker fans are noted as, fair weather fans.
Yeah.
So Daryl, what do you see as the path forward for the Lakers?
Repeat the question.
What do you see for the future for the Lakers? How can it, what moves do you think they can make to positively impact the Laker future, so I can be sure to not allow those moves to be made? But anyway,
It don't look good. Like I said, if they didn't take it this year, it's going to be a while where they can build a team.
Right.
a logical Laker fan
what
is
do
saying
you
the same
want?
thing you said.
Yeah. Because you do things like, who's better, Bronny James or Quincy Oliver?
Quincy Oliver, I know
Quincy
the guy
Oliver's
you're talking
better.
about. You
Why-
went down to G League. That dude has some talent, and because LeBron wanted his son to play, the Lakers were willing to.
Exactly. So when you do things like that, it doesn't go in your favor.
So,
And so JJ Redick, if you're a real coach, if Quincy Oliver better, Bronny's not gonna be on my bench. Quincy Oliver's gonna be on my bench.
Gee, Hugh from Boston, Darryl, you just reminded me. Why didn't J.J. Redick put Bronny in?
good. That is the ultimate question.
Well,
I mean,
same
it's your
reason
number
he
two
didn't put in
pick.
Connect.
Number 2 pick,
Yeah, but
whatever.
Same reason he didn't put in none of them guys in the whole second half.
Hugh making jokes, man.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a legitimate question because
It's legit.
you're talking about a future superstar here. So I'm saying there was nothing but opportunity there.
Got a point there.
Whatever.
So, how long you gonna be a new Laker hater, sir? May I ask?
Are you only visiting
JJ
Laker
have
Hater Island, or
done-
are you moving?
What J.J. Redick has done, he has told those bench players, "I have no faith in you."
He has.
Wow.
And so does that bode well for Game 5? I'm gonna take that as a no.
He said no.
Okay.
Like I said, I think Ant-Man and Randall, they smelling blood.
They got to take him out, man.
They smelling blood.
They
They
gotta take him
got to
out.
take him out.
You gotta take him out.
Wednesday,
Those
come here
two
and
in
kick some
particular.
ass.
Yeah, gotta take him out.
Yeah, got to take him out.
Yeah. Do not give them any air. You gotta take them out in Game 5.
So, are you gonna be hating the Lakers for the rest of this season, or you gonna get back on the team next year, sir? Daryl, Carolina.
I don't know if it depends on how things go by. LeBron retires, yeah.
Okay, so
He need to retire.
so for right now you are visiting. Okay.
He's visiting Laker.
So you're legit to call in, then we give you a pass. I'm gonna send you a Laker hater
Okay, I
pass
get
on
it.
your phone. I'll text it to you, sir.
But that is
right.
that statement is a good point. If LeBron retires,
It's
if
gonna be
LeBron
a,
retires,
it's gonna be a big celebration.
Hey, Daryl, try to talk some sense into those other Laker fans and get them out of dream world. Because I mean, I'm like, they're still saying they're gonna come back and win 3 in a row. I'm like, okay.
That's the only way in.
Yeah, I'll be trying to talk to my son every day.
Lakers in 7, but they're already a one trip away from heaven.
Days, you gonna listen to me.
Out of curiosity, and I have no idea what it is, but what are the odds for the game with the Lakers?
Game 5?
Game 5.
It probably ain't came out yet.
Okay.
okay. But
Well,
one more point.
if they can pull it out, it'd be a good matchup between them and Golden State. I would love to see that.
They're gonna be Golden
And I would
State
love
too.
to see Curry. I love to see Curry beat LeBron one more time.
Oh,
They're not gonna pull it out, man.
Oh,
you might as well
man.
get ready for Minnesota and Golden State.
So you're just really a LeBron hater, then? Is
I can live with that.
Is
A
that
lot of
you?
Laker fans,
Ooh,
believe it
right.
or not, there's a lot of Laker fans who feel the same way he feel about
Yeah,
LeBron.
I know Marvin and CC. They both. Those are a couple we had on our team.
Mo, you want to read that for me?
38.2%. So Lakers are favored basically, 62% to 38% to win the next game. So
2/3,
50%.
1/3.
Yeah.
Ballpark.
Well, that's Laker fans with that.
Yeah. You from Boston. I differ with you guys a little bit. I don't think that the Lakers have to win this. That the game can't go to the 6th game.
Okay.
The Lakers could win Wednesday. So
I-
what?
If he
They're not going to win
plays-
2.
If he plays just 5 guys for a half and don't use the bench, it ain't going to 6 games.
Well, he
Yeah,
don't-
well,
he
I'm
don't
not
do
saying
that.
it will.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying I'm not losing
saying
any
he goes
sleep
6.
if they happen to win the 5th game.
I go to more punches from cards. I go with Charles Barkley on this because the in a 1-game series, anything can happen. And if you're pinning your hopes on Game 6, the pressure's gonna be on you.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
if you lose that, now it's Game 7. and
No,
anything
you're
can
absolutely correct.
Yeah.
The pressure turns to Minneapolis.
So
on
they
game
really
6.
need to win that
It'd
next
be
game.
nice if they won
Minnesota need
game
to come
5.
out.
But I'm not going to
Minnesota,
panic.
If I was in Minnesota's locker room right now, right? Because I got a young team, right? You know what I'm telling them? You ain't won shit yet.
Thank you. All you did is
All you did, you got a
Take home
3-game-to-1 lead. You got a cushion to play with. Okay? Look, we better than these guys.
go ahead and win the game, win the series.
Go on and close them out and get you some rest.
Yes, sir. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be playing with your
Can't
food
play.
and all of that. And keep in mind, Wednesday we're gonna have to play through the refs. Got to play through the calls.
Okay. Well,
Gotta
they-
play through the
They
calls.
definitely let them play today, though. I like
But
that.
if you want to be great,
Okay, listen.
you win
man.
it. You win it on their home court.
And I'm looking at Ant-Man, and I'm like,
You want to be great.
I'm looking at Ant-Man, and I'm like, hey, you had what, 36 the last game. You had 43 today. Can't nobody guard you.
Go
When
for
you
50.
getting switch offs with Reeves and Luka, you got to continue to punish them. Randall is going to do his because Randall's got payback on his mind because the way the Lakers treat
That's
him.
why he hit LeBron in the face.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, we have 2 minutes, so I got to wrap this up. Caller on the phone. Appreciate you calling in, sir. Okay, when we come back next week, the Lakers will be waiting. I guess they'll be going
All the best,
fishing.
Daryl.
And
Get your fishing pole out, man.
I'm not even tripping.
yeah, you knew all that water down there in Georgia, so you wouldn't have far to go. All right, just send us a picture too. Text us a picture, bro. Let me see how you're looking down there. Okay, we have 2 minutes. Just going around the horn, introduce yourself. Let's get out of here.
Van Douglas, #1 Laker hater, prophet.
Hugh from Boston, and I agree with Van that they do need to win in 5, but I'm not going to lose any sleep if it goes to 6.
Mo Funches from Carson. I want Shannon Sharp to be a prophet. I want the series over in 5.
That's the reverse.
Rashid,
I understand.
Rashid,
But he
the
would call
engineer.
like games.
We will hear from Shannon Sharp via Club Shay Shay with his show with Ocho. But until then, we out of here.
All right, y'all. We had a good show, and see you guys next week. I appreciate all of you all, man.
Thank you, sir.
All right, give me some Life is Good in Inglewood. Let everybody know how it is.
Oh, life is good in Inglewood. God has blessed our neighborhood. So let's celebrate in the city of champions.